Welcome everybody to another edition of La Cocina Politica. Today we're at the home of Epi and Cristina Sassi and Linda Figueroa.
Welcome.
And yes, Linda,
Welcome.
so tell them what you're going to make today for us.
I'm going to make chili rellenos. I have some rice and I have a little side salad of avocado and tomato. And of course, I want you to know that my niece Isabella also made some special lemonade for us to serve the judge.
That is awesome.
She wasn't able to be here, but she did say that she wanted to make a special lemonade. So that's what we're going to do.
And speaking of the judge, that's exactly what we're going to have today. Our special guest is Judge Terry Shamsie, candidate for the County Court at Law number 5 judge.
Yes.
So we're definitely going to be supporting him, Linda, and I can hardly wait to get started. Everything smells good when I walked into the house. So
Are you ready to get your hands dirty?
I'm ready to do that.
Let's go for it.
Okay, Linda, look at all these wonderful ingredients. Can you go ahead and tell us what you do?
Sure. Well, first of all, I want you to know it's a chile relleno, and this is what I did. I went and bought it. Afterwards, I have to char it, and it's real simple. Just put it on the stove top and let it char. Afterwards, I let it sit. After we do that, it's kind of messy. You have to take it off. You have to take the skin off, until you've got sort of like a smooth side. You devein, you open it up.
Let me ask you, when you're putting it on the stove, are you putting it on an open flame like the gas?
Flame? Yes.
Not electric? Because
no, it has to be gas. I would say gas. It has to be gas. Or you can put it in the oven. Some people put it in the oven underneath the broiler.
Okay.
But since I'm lucky to have gas, then all you have to do is, like I say, it takes a lot of time, Rose. But once you do that, and there's the clean side, then what I'll do is I'll split it open. You take out the seeds. Once you have that done, you will actually have a chile relleno like this. What I do is I take the chicken, I shred chicken, I add some salt. I just boil the chicken breast. I've added a little bit of chipotle sauce to it, which is it's jalapenos that have been smoked. So you add some of the seasoning to it. And then after that, you stuff it. You would put it inside. You would add cheese. My family likes Kobe, so we use Kobe cheese. And then I stuff the pepper. Once it's stuffed, you have to dip it into the flour. Several steps. You take the toothpicks and you just close it to make sure, secure it. This is unseasoned flour. And then what you do is I have separated eggs, and then I fold the eggs into the egg mixture. It's the yolks, and it's a folded mixture. It actually just gives you a foam.
So, Linda, that's like, how many eggs are in there?
Well, I've made several. I would say about 3 eggs after you do it. This is all you do.
And you're beating it, and then you also do beaded egg whites?
Egg whites, and you fold it. And you're just supposed to fold it. The idea is to fold. It's a little messy. Once you get it, and I guess I should use this, you can use it. It's a little easier when you have it controlled.
So it looks like a combination of eggs that you've whole eggs that you've beaten, and then you've also got egg whites, and you layered it on top, and then you're just folding it in.
And as soon as you do that, then we take it to the stove.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. But I also put a cream. Then I use the chipotle, and I mix it in together, and this is actually what you're going to drizzle over afterwards.
Oh,
so then we're ready to go to the stove.
That looks great. Okay, let's do that.
Okay, Rose, now this is the part where you put it into the oil.
Okay.
And it's now going to fry, and you have to watch it because as it browns, you keep on turning it.
Right.
So
that looks absolutely delicious. So how long have you been doing this?
3 years.
Just
this dish. It's a family favorite.
So while we're doing this, I want to remind the audience again that early voting starts October the 18th through the 29th. And you can vote just about anywhere in the city, right?
Yes, we have the Deaf Center by the mall, and now that the mall's so popular, there's no excuse. It's open till 9 o'clock. Well, it's early voting till 7 o'clock. Then they have the courthouse. What else do we have? Mobile sites.
Even at schools, different schools.
There's no reason for any of our incumbents to have to lose.
Everybody's vote is going to count, so we need you to get out there.
We need people to get out to vote. Make sure they vote. And how many judges now on the ballot?
So far, we've got 3 that I really am concentrating on.
Okay,
of course, our local judges. We've got Judge Marisela Saldana for the 148. We've got Judge Terry Shamsie for the County Court at Law number 5, who's going to be our guest today.
I know, I'm excited.
Excited about that too.
Yes.
And then also we have Judge Judge Banales for the 105th. We need to re-elect Judge Aldana Banales, and of course we need to elect Judge Terry Shamsie.
You got to keep the incumbents on the
That's
bench.
right.
There's no reason for them to have someone that's going against them. They've been doing a good job.
They have been doing a wonderful job, and of course Judge Linda Yanez, who's also with the 13th Court of Appeals. We've got to make sure that we re-elect the judges.
I watched the news this morning, and it's Perry's 48 and Bill White has 42. That's the percentage, so we're catching up. And just
getting closer and closer.
And all we have to do is early voting, concentrate. So
That's
phone
exactly
banking, block walking,
That's
which
right.
After this, I have to get ready to go and go block walk and help the candidates. The Democratic headquarters will be open.
That's right. That's what I want to do, is I want to thank all the volunteers who have come out so far and showed some enthusiasm. They've all come and brought their cell phones, and they're making phone calls. We're working so hard to get all the Democrats voted. That's what I'm saying. La Palanca, right?
Well, you've been open on Weber. Every time I go by there, you guys are open to what, 10:30, 11:30,
We've
12
been
o'clock?
working late,
It's
every
wonderful,
night,
Rose.
late.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you so much.
Very proud of you.
Thank you so much. So we want to make sure that all the Democrats on the ballot get elected. We need everybody to go out and show their support. We need to vote, folks, so come on, vote, and vote La Palanca.
The Democrats are for the people.
That's right.
They're there to help us get
people.
into college.
Exactly.
Programs, health, welfare, education. Now things have changed and we need to keep them in there.
And people don't, the young don't realize that it's the Democrats in the first place that got us all these extra benefits. Now,
It's
Linda,
done.
this looks great.
It's
so
done.
we're going to put it on the plate.
We're going to put it on the plate. And Rose, this is the finished product.
Oh, that is beautiful, Linda. And look at the garnishment. The rice and the avocado, avocate, right? And the tomatoes.
Yeah.
Looks delicious.
I think it is delicious.
That must be Judge Shamsie.
It's Judge Shamsie.
Let's go see
Let's
the
go.
door.
Hi, Judge. Hello.
Nice to see you.
you.
How are you? You've been
Hello.
block walking? Good to
Yes,
see you.
ma'am.
Come on in.
How you doing?
Smells great, doesn't
It
it?
smells wonderful.
We're ready to eat.
Yes,
Let's
ma'am.
go.
Let's go.
So now we're here sitting down with this beautiful meal. Look at this presentation. This beautiful presentation Linda's doing. And Judge, you're just coming back from Robstown, right?
Robstown.
And where we had the taqueria, Lupita's Taqueria. We had a meet and greet. And we had Judge Banales there, and also Ego Laredo. And I hear there was like, what, 100 people that showed
About
up?
100 people. It's very good support and gathering for Able.
That's very good.
Election's on its way.
So I think everybody's all excited and geared up for this election, you know,
I noticed,
especially...
especially at the Democratic headquarters last night, this phone banking, people coming in and getting signed. So it's working. It's working. Whatever's going on is working, Judge.
Judge, so you're running for the County Court at Law number 5. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience?
Well, as you know, I've been practicing law for 23 years. I was an assistant county attorney for 2 years, and then after that went to private practice, did that for about 11 years, and then served the citizens as county judge for 4 years, completed that term, and did private practice about another 2 years, and then Carl Lewis passed away, and then the commissioners appointed me to finish out his term. So I've been County Court 5 judge serving you for 2 years. Announced re-election time, so it's getting out there and campaigning and informing the voters.
That's right, and it's the duties of the County Court at Law number 5. Can you tell the audience, for those that don't know what your duties are, what you do on a day-to-day basis, can you tell us what that is?
County Court 5 is a court that handles 90% of the work is going to be handling cases involving children that are victims of abuse. And so the state files basically a lawsuit requesting the children be removed from the home. And after that, we have a hearing to try to find a safe home for the children. And so every day, probably 6 to 7 hours out of the day, we deal with those type of cases. And right now, there's about 600 kids, what we call in care, under the jurisdiction of the state that have been victims of abuse.
That must be very difficult to do on a day-to-day basis.
It's very emotional because you see a lot of the ugly side of society and the results and these children, what they went through. We have a great team though. As you know, the county attorney's office, Lada Menes, the 2 lawyers that are there, and then we have CASA, court-appointed special advocates that help out tremendously. And so they handle probably 1 out of every 4 cases. The other cases, the children do not have a CASA volunteer. So we try to encourage people to join CASA and become part of the team to help these children and keep them in a safe environment.
What is the percentage then of juveniles for graffiti? Can I ask that?
Probably in any given year, there's probably 4,000 cases that are referred to juvenile court.
Okay.
So juvenile represents about probably 4 to 5 hours out of the week of my work. The rest of it is, the other 35 to 40 hours is dedicated to children that are victims of abuse. So in juvenile, out of the 4,000 cases that are referred, about 100 to 120 are going to be graffiti. The other 3,900 will be other offenses. It could be skipping school, burglary of a home, burglary of a car, drug use, selling drugs, those kind of things. Maybe a weapon at school.
And the reason I ask is, you know, your opponent is making a big deal out of graffiti, but it's not a big percentage in that court.
The number of cases are small, but the problem is, his solution is he wants to lock them all up. Right. That's his solution. It costs $50,000 to $60,000 a year to lock up each child. So you would need about $6 million.
To lock up the graffiti alone?
Just only those.
Only those.
And out of those $6 million, you have about $400,000 in the budget. So you're short about $5.6 million. So it would require a tax increase between 15 to 20% increase, property tax increase.
And out of the graffiti that have come before you, what is it that the children have done? I mean, what is the progress that you've seen among that 120? Or there are some that still taggers, but the majority don't want to do it anymore. Right,
most of them don't because they do community service.
Right.
They have to. Most of them are involved in some kind of drug use. It could be alcohol, could be cocaine, can be other drugs. So they have an underlying drug offense, abuse. So we try to send them to drug treatment, number one.
Okay.
And then after that, they come out, then they start the community service and restitution. And it's usually about a year to a year and a half they're on probation. That's what it ends up being. Then you'll have 5 or 6 cases out of the 4,000 that are extremely difficult, maybe you're not successful with. You try to help the child, but based upon different circumstances, you might not be successful in those.
And Judge, I know that there's also a controversy about boot camp, and I think your opponent is also bringing up something about you're not being hard enough on the kids. Can you tell us what it is that what's going on with the boot camp issue?
Boot camp is an idea. It's been around for a while, but it really took off in the 80s, and they started with the adult system and then it went to the juvenile. It was a thing that if we lock the children up and then spend the money to try to use a military approach to them, it will work. All the international, national, statewide studies show it's a complete failure. The city of Houston, the county of Houston just abandoned their boot camp. We're one of the few areas that have boot camp left. We did 3 studies here in the last year on ours, and there's about a 4% success rate and a 96% failure rate. So that by the time they graduate out of boot camp successfully, they're about 17 years old, they will be rearrested as an adult with them committing a more serious offense. And out of the 216 that are now adults, 206 have been rearrested. So there's only been 10 children that have not been rearrested after successful completion. Of the 216 that were in the system, over 50 are already in adult prison TDC, serving time.
Wow.
And you spent probably $35,000 on each one of those children under that system.
Right. And so the alternative is you look at each one and you give them, and it just depends on what the case is all about, and then you make your ruling on what you're going to do with that child, right?
Each one of them is individual, because they might have strong family support that could assist the court. There may be no family support and no one to go home to, and so we might try out-of-state placement and try to get them ready for college, and we've been successful in some of those cases. And then the other option is to try to place them with a relative. And that's the least expensive and really the most productive.